Into battle, and the pictures from Network 10 Sports Australia being beamed not only into England and into America, but as well to New Zealand. Certainly a massive coverage coming out of the Sydney Cricket Ground, Rugby League headquarters, for the game's biggest day ever. Well, this trophy I'm standing alongside is the one that we now refer to as the Winfield Cup Trophy. It was captured back in 1963. When the Sydney Cricket Ground was at its muddiest. It was a grand final day when St. George had three sides in that particular day. Under 23s, they weren't around then. It was third grade, reserve grade, and first grade. And at the end of the day, photographer John O'Grady captured Norm Sticks Provan and Arthur Summons leaving the field, embracing one another, congratulating one another on what was a tremendous performance. That, of course, was in that compass of 11 straight wins for the mighty Dragons. And it was then that St. George won those three grand finals, and today we'll be hoping to repeat history. And also, St. George looked upon by most in rugby league as the pace setters, the trend setters. Do you know that never in the history of rugby league, 77 years of it, has a team gone across the line as minor premiers in all three grades and then gone on to win them all? And that's what they're striving for here this afternoon. Well, outside this morning, and today was no exception, let me tell you, and many of the fans were waiting for long hours, some of them for days. Then they started to file into this rugby league headquarters at the cricket ground to grab the best possible vantage point that they could.
It's a beautiful sight from up here. There's thousands of cars out in the parking lot, and you can see people walking in across the parks and fields around the Moore Park area. As
the beat goes on, coming up to the kick-off for under 23s, one of Australia's leading pop groups, the Electric Pandas, are entertaining a crowd of, probably about 15 to 20,000 here at the moment, basking in 17 degrees. At the moment, humidity 60%. A beautiful day for Grand Final Day, 1985. Yes, the Australian Rugby League Cowgirls have now been joined by the cheer girls from all of the Sydney Premiership sides. 260 girls out there who've helped to entertain the Rugby League crowds during the year, and they've been choreographed by Lyndall Johns. Well, so also out there behind me are the characters from It's a Knockout, one of our most popular Wednesday night programs. And so all in all, this day is gaining in momentum as the crowd continues to be entertained, and shortly we come to the first of the grand finals between St. George and Parramatta. Your commentator will be David Fordham. He'll be joined by Wayne Pearce. But right now, and of course it's reminded to me that we have Canberra playing in reserve grade just a little bit later on. And from the national capital at St. George Leafs Club this morning was the Prime Minister, Mr. Hawke, and here he is interviewed by Graham McNeice.
Prime Minister, if I may be so bold as to put you on the spot, St. George or Canterbury?
St. George, I think.
Why is that?
Well, I don't pretend to have the great knowledge I have of this game that I do about VFL, but I just have the feeling they've got a superb back line, well-balanced side, and I think during the season they've showed the more consistent form.
Well, the under-23s grand final has just kicked off between St. George and Parramatta. Let's take you now to our commentary team, David Fordham and Wayne Pearce.
Ryan Jackson to his feet. Parramatta in possession of the ball. It goes out through Emery. Then to Blair Kurtz. But he's wrapped up about 8 metres from the halfway line. Young Guider in there, the hooker for St. George, effecting the tackle. And there's a knock-on from Andrew Mack, and it's away. There's a chance for St. George. First points on the board for the St. George Dragons. It's St. George leading 6-0 in the under-23 grand final. See, the St. George defence means business, Wayne.
Certainly are moving up quick, but that's where all defences do on their own line.
There's the kick through from Emery. There's a chance. Try to Parramatta.
Well, David. They certainly had a little bit of luck there. It came off the upright, straight into the Parramatta player's hands and over the line.
Ryan Jackson was the man that came through. There's the kick through. And watch Jackson. The bounce off the post. For Parramatta fans, it's room for elation because it is now 12 points to 6 in favour of Parramatta. Dennis Fitzgerald said that Ryan Jackson was going to be a star in this grand final. I can tell you he's just scored his second try in the space of a few minutes. The good break made by Parramatta and great finishing work, Wayne Pearce, from the young centre Ryan Jackson. He's only 19.
He certainly is, and he's on the spot. Now, that was a break by one of the forwards there, Kevin Manning, and he was on the spot, came in from the centre to back up.
So yes, we've got 7 minutes and 46 seconds left to half-time, and St. George with the job ahead of them. They're on the attack. The pass away. It's a try to Glenn Montgomery, and St. George have fought back. It's 12 points to 10. But McClintock puts the ball off his right boot. It's straight between the uprights, and it's all back on level terms here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It's 12 points all. 5 metres out, less than that from the Parramatta line. Guider from dummy half goes on his own. The gap open. There's a chance for St. George. It's a try to Michael McClintock, the captain of the St. George side, and St. George back in the ball game. With the kick to come, they trail by only 2 points. It's 18 points to 16. And this will tie the ball game up. McClintock's kick from 5 metres to the left of the uprights. It goes right over the black dot. And it's 18 all in the under-23 grand final. So David Perry, the leading point scorer in under-23s. I mentioned at the beginning of this match that goal kicking could well decide this match. And this man has been ever consistent. But if ever he wanted to kick a goal in season 1985 with 13 minutes left on the clock and a chance to put the Eels in the lead, this is the one that David Perry wants. The crowd will tell the story. The flags go up and Parramatta in the lead. In the under-23 grand final, they lead the minor premiers St. George by 20 points to 18. St. George on the attack, 8 metres out from the Parramatta line. It goes out through Edwards, a long pass out to Freestone. Freestone has Conti in support, but a great tackle that time from Mansfield. Conti from dummy half puts the kick through. There's a try. It's a try to St. George, and the red and white flags go up. That's put the Premiers in the lead. There's the kick. The flags go up. The Dragons lead by 4. St. George are the minor and major Premiers for 1985. They've won the grand final by 24 points to 20, and it was mainly through the efforts of Flanagan, who scored that vital try just 9 minutes from full time. There it is, the under-23 championship trophy, and they led in triumph by their captain, Mike McClintock. Today, he kicked 5 goals, and a tremendous performance. The crowd going berserk. There's plenty of red and white banners on the hill, and I'm sure they'll pay tribute to a champion side. There it is, dragon dominance and skill, and I think that really typifies the St. George block. Can they make it 3 in a row today? We've got more action coming up later today. Billy J. Smith will be joining me and Bill Anderson for the reserve grade match. That's the clash between St. George and Canberra, who make their first ever grand final appearance at the Sydney Cricket Ground today. And I know that the national capital will be waiting in great expectation for a great performance from the Canberra Raiders here this afternoon.
Just give you an update on the weather at the moment. There is a bit of cloud over the city, but it's just what we expected anyway, just a partly cloudy day. And the temperature's warmed up to 18 degrees, which was the forecast maximum. So quite pleasant conditions, really, for a big day in the football. And if it's hot enough on the ground there, they wouldn't really want it too much hotter out here. Looking at the Jackie Sorensen dancers, as you say, just over 200 dancers. They're all fitness fanatics, and they're out to show you that dancing can be fun, if not a little strenuous. And the dances that they are doing are designed to get the heart rate beating faster. And I'm sure after seeing the last game, that's the last thing you probably need at the moment.
Mick Stone in this reserve grade match. Stone getting the nod here. Dummy half waiting for it. Townsend again. Crossover then to Neil, a big one over the top. Ought to be taken nicely over there. Cutting through was Johns, gets it out to Johnson. Johnson's over for the try. That's the first try of the match. Fullback Brian Johnson chimed in nicely, took the pass outside and is over for the opening try of the match in this reserve grade grand final.
Blake goes into dummy half. Spears. Well, he's tasted a grand final loss here back in 1975 with the Balmain side against Cronulla. Thompson, long pass, beautiful pass and a try. The replay by the Canberra Raiders, scored by Les Morrissey. So Davis, Marina comes in with a kick. He's raised the extras, and so the Canberra Raiders lead the St. George Dragons by 6 points to 4. And there's a face from the past, Alan McMahon, coach of the Canberra Raiders.
Oh, look at this defence.
Great run by Bacco, got the pass away, and it's a try to Canberra. Tremendous try scored by their skipper, Paul Thompson, and tremendous lead-up work by Big Sam Bacco, the man from Cairns. Angel Marina kicked 3 goals in the final last week, has already converted the try by Morrissey, and he's converted another one. So the Canberra Raiders lead St. George by 12 points to 4, and we've got just over 3.5 minutes of play remaining in this first half, and the Canberra Raiders cheer squad gets into action. Well, I don't know whether it's an omen, but the marching girls wearing the St. George colours.
By the way, this not only are they world champions, David, they've appeared at the Hollywood Park Raceway, Astroworld in Texas, International Trade Centre in Los Angeles, at Disneyland, the Moomba Festival, right here at Sydney's Royal Easter Show, and earlier this year before 50,000 spectators at the Australian-New Zealand Rugby Test in Auckland. So they're pretty well accomplished to perform here at the Sydney Cricket Ground for us today. A couple of appearances of them on our grand final day, 1985. Robert Stone, who would have been in this side here today, keeping an eye on things on the touchline. He's out with an injury, but I'm sure he'd like to be out there, Bill.
I'm sure he would. He suffered an ankle injury, and it'd be a great disappointment to him.
That's a try. Touchdown, it's a try. Davis for Canberra, right on the spot. Spilled in the in-goal area. The man to lose it up there was Johnson. And a try for Canberra really zips them out with a good lead here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Let's see what Marina can do with this one. 2 from 2 for him today. Ooh. Well, he might have snuck that one over on us, but it hits the crossbar and bounces back. Canberra leading St. George here at the moment in the reserve grade grand final. The tally is 16 points to 4.
There's been a lot of speculation about what effect the week's layoff is with the side going straight to the grand final, but is this a case of it affecting St. George in this grand final?
Well, looking at it from here, it very much is so far. St. George are playing sluggishly. They're missing tackles and dropping balls. They're a side without any combination. They're getting back on the attack here through Mark Cannon. He's going to carry this on and go all the way, Cannon. Great St. George try. We've just about written them off, but Cannon was able to fight back. He dummied inside after making the initial break, and he scored adjacent to the uprights.
Townsend out to Neil, to Cannon. Cannon's broken the line again.
It was funny, you know, only 2 weeks ago his coach Johnny Bailey pulled him aside and said, you're not doing enough. If you don't have a good game this week, you're going to be out of the side for the semi-finals and the grand final. Mark Cannon turned it all around, had an absolute blinder 2 weeks ago, and he's carried it on in the last few minutes of this session.
Here goes Neil. Neil with the support of Walford. He's going for the line. He'll get there. There's another try to St. George. He'll come right around to the post. And the Dragons are back breathing fire here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The crowd has absolutely built up here at the Sydney Cricket Ground as coach John Bailey looks on. And how much pressure is on Ricky Walford. There's his kick. Wait for the touch judges. The flags go up. The grand final in reserve grade is all tied up at 16 all.
1 minute and 24 seconds remaining. So it looks like we've got the extra time, Bill.
Well, it went right down to the wire in the third grade with the under-23s with a 24-20 win to St. George, and this one's not looking any different. We're going right down to full time, and it does look as if we'll be going into that extra 10 minutes each way.
So here's Canberra, about 8 metres short of that halfway mark. Now the play, there's Waters there locked forward. That's Bacco. Bacco's done a lot of the tough stuff up the centre. He's still doing it. Gets the pass away, but it's going to be lost to St. George. No, they can't handle it either. Still going. Referee Stone says play on. St. George ball, and the man underneath there will be Duckett with it. Johnson is the dummy half. That's Cannon. Cannon straight ahead, but well wrapped up in the tackle. Walford is the dummy half. 35 seconds remaining. Funnel. Bacco's there, still going as Bacco. Also a crossover there will be Hamilton for Canberra. Running it out. Long pass. Right over the top, taken out here by Duckett. Duckett still going, up over the halfway, turns it around. This is Johnson. Can they pull it out of the fire at the net? Back inside over there to Duckett. And away they go. It'll be a try right on the time. Right on the bell, it's Neil in for the try. Alan Neil, the halfback. And with what, 10 seconds to go, Bill?
There was 6 seconds to go on the clock. One of the passes there looked like it might have been forward to me. We'll see it on replay, and I'll try and pick up exactly which one it was, but a great finish for St. George. Have a look at the elation there on the sideline. John Bailey, the red and white flags are flying.
Yes, I'm the same as you, Bill. I'll be very interested to see this as we go.
Here it is, the pass from Alan Neal. It went back on to Jones. He threw the ball over the top to Duckett. Duckett didn't look like he had anywhere to go, really. He started off the right, then the left foot, stepped back inside, fired the pass back on the outside, and there he found Brian Johnson. That was the pass that looked like it might have been forward. He picked up the support on the inside. It was Jones again. He got the pass back to Alan Neal, and a very happy Alan Neal crashes over to score the 4 points that has won this one for St. George.
Well, Brian Johnson, of course, made the error that let Davis score a very crucial try. This is the one that Billy Anderson and Billy J. Smith and I all thought looked a bit forward. It was hard to tell from that angle, but more importantly, Alan Neal scoots away, and that's the try that has sealed the game for St. George.
John, 5 seconds left on the clock. Could you believe it?
What a way to go. What a way to go. The replacements, they made the difference when I sent them on. Unbelievable.
John, a big performance by the side. Both sides doing it very, very tough. As you said, the replacements there. Who was your star?
Oh, mate, me star, I don't know, really. Ricky Powell probably in the second half. But, they all played well. I couldn't take anything away from any of them.
John, congratulations on a great achievement.
Thanks very much.
Ricky Walford puts the extras, the icing on the cake. And it's a 22 points to 16 win by St. George. And for the second time in this grand final proceedings of 1985, St. George hold the premiership trophy aloft. Captain George Morocco with the reserve grade trophy. Robert Page from Winfield has just presented that to him.
And also Robert Stone there too, David. He would have been out there, I guess.
Except for that ankle, Billy. For Billy Anderson, St. George now on target to create rugby league history.
They are, Dave. No side, no club has ever won all 3 grades and been minor premiers and then gone through and won the 3 grand finals. And St. George are now, well, they're right on line to do that. They've won the first 2 grades, the under-23s and the reserve grade. They were minor premiers in those grades, and they've won the trophy. So now all augurs for the first grade. If they can cap that off, it's the first time it's ever happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, Network 10 Australia, the New South Wales Rugby League and